Hello everybody and everybody else. My name is ScrypKat and this is ScrypKat Says. On this channel we take a look at First Amendment auditors, sovereign citizens, cop watchers, cop baiters, and Karens from a slightly different angle. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I read every comment I receive and appreciate every one of them. You all have given me many great ideas. Keep your eye on the channel. You might see one of your suggestions come to life. Today, we're going to look at the phenomenon of entitlement. Let's start with a dictionary definition. Entitlement: the fact of having a right to something. The belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. A government program that provides benefits to any individual meeting certain eligibility requirements. The amount to which a person has a right. The word entitlement, as with most if not all vocabulary, is not a dirty word. All of us here in the United States are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Notice I said pursuit. That word will recur during these discussions. Another example of proper entitlement is the right of working people to collect their retirement monies when they leave the service of their employer. These rights or claims are legitimate because the government and businesses grant them. People have worked for years to gain their retirement benefits. The Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution guarantee the rights of our citizens. In the past several decades, anthropologists and psychologists have put great emphasis on the importance of self-esteem. Self-esteem is fairly self-explanatory. It is the respect and admiration one gives oneself because of one's achievements in life. Parents have been taught by the experts that helping children achieve and maintain self-esteem is of great importance to the child's and the nation's future. Unfortunately, the way in which parents can do this was poorly thought out, and a handy-dandy and very easy way to bolster their child's self-esteem was to reward and award them, not for their own merit, but for their mere participation in any group activity. Personally, I saw this first among soccer enthusiasts. "No one loses, everyone wins," was the softly whispered battle cry. No one enjoys watching their offspring deal with failure. We feel helpless and guilty. Thus was born the participation trophy. We, the parents and coaches, are able to assuage our own pain by granting winners and losers the same awards. The well-meaning experts and parents didn't realize that what they were doing to and for their children. Why? Because self-esteem is built from overcoming obstacles and coming back from losses or failures. Teaching children how to deal with failure or disappointment helps them grow into mature adults.
And today we're going to discuss a topic which is much misunderstood among the self-styled experts online, and not only there. And it is the topic of narcissistic entitlement. The narcissist feels entitled. But is it really what it seems to be? I think I'm going to turn this topsy-turvy. I'm going to upend your world. You're not going to be the same people if you do dare go to the end of this video. Those of you who survive this video will never be the same again. All right. So let's start with entitlement. Entitlement is a hallmark of all types of narcissists. Vulnerable, covert narcissists have entitlement, grandiose, overt narcissists have entitlement, somatic narcissists have entitlement, cerebrals, inverted, you name it. Even I have entitlement. Narcissists are convinced that they deserve special treatment.
If I'm going to stick to one right, I'm going to stick to all my rights. Other people's feelings don't trump my rights, so.
They are absolutely assured that, self-assured, that they are owed privileges. So they feel privileged. And they feel that they should be treated in a special way only by special people.
There's no sign saying it's not. You want to keep me out of there, you have to put up signs. Well, I just informed you, sir. I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want. doesn't mean it's factual.
Actually, entitlement is such a crucial pillar and determinant of narcissism that it is one of the diagnostic criteria in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, all the editions from number 3 onwards. So entitlement, together with grandiosity, together with a lack of empathy, these are the 3 legs of the narcissistic stool. And yes, I'm using the word stool judiciously. Pun intended.
Okay, but they have the right to refuse service and they don't want you here. If they don't want you here,
they do have the right to refuse me service, but I'm not going anywhere.
they want you to leave. So
What do you mean they want me to leave? I'm a customer here.
and
I did not violate any law.
They have the right to refuse your service.
They can refuse that, but they cannot kick me out.
They can.
Okay, the narcissist feels entitled to everything. He feels entitled to be treated by the head doctor, not by just any doctor. He feels entitled to skip the queue and head straight onto the counter. He feels entitled to not be criticized. He feels entitled to everything. And of course, he feels entitled to narcissistic supply. This is a very crucial point that many people, experts, real and pretend, miss. Narcissistic supply is not something that the narcissist extracts from the environment. It's not something that he works hard to garner and accomplish. The narcissist believes that he is owed narcissistic supply. The world owes him adulation and admiration by the very fact of his existence. The very fact that he exists entitles a narcissist to narcissistic supply. He doesn't have to work hard for it. He doesn't have to invest any effort in it. And if people ask him to do something in order to garner the supply, he gets really, really mad and angry. He feels deprived. He feels discriminated against. He feels that he's mistreated or treated unjustly. He says, why do I have to work for my narcissistic supply? I deserve it. And I deserve it merely by being, for example, a genius or handsome, or like me, a handsome genius. Got it? Right. So narcissistic supply is an integral part of entitlement. The narcissist feels entitled to everything without any commensurate accomplishments and without any investment of effort, effortlessly.
Can you, it's not polite to film her?
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
See what you started?
What's that?
You see what you started?
She started.
What you started?
No, I don't want to be
You've been filming
filmed.
the whole thing.
I'm
right?
filming you and him. I'm not worried about her. I'm in public though.
What's that?
I'm in public though, so.
No, but you're filming us like.
Can
But
you
I'm in
please
public.
don't?
You're in public. What do you mean?
That means I have the First Amendment. That means I can
No,
record
you
whatever I
don't.
want.
But what laymen and experts alike fail to appreciate is that entitlement is a form of learned helplessness. Yes, you heard me correctly. Learned helplessness. Now, some of you may remember that learned helplessness is a state of mind where people feel helpless because they had been educated and trained and conditioned to feel helpless in, for example, early childhood. So, whenever we encourage people to feel dependent, needy, clinging, helpless, codependent in extreme cases, we foster learned helplessness. It's a form of helplessness that is acquired. You're not born with it. You just learn. You learn throughout life that when it comes to these and these issues, these and these topics, these and these challenges, you're helpless. You need someone else to do it for you. Learned helplessness. And of course, immediately you can see that there's a close affinity between entitlement and learned helplessness. Because entitlement, what does a narcissist say when he feels entitled? He feels, I don't have to do anything. Other people have to do things for me. Other people have to fulfill functions that otherwise I would have had to fulfill. Otherwise, people have to work for me. People have to cater to my needs.
What happened to the right to travel?
What's that?
You don't need a license to travel.
You do.
No, you don't.
You certainly do.
Where? You don't need a license to drive, right?
I
You
understand.
traveling. The second one too.
What's that?
Since I'm the second one too.
Yes, sir.
Do you know anything about that? About traveling?
I know all about sovereign citizens.
So if he's a sovereign citizen, why would he have to present a driver's license? There you go, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because you've been so nice, I'm not going to tow your vehicle off. I'm going to let the lady in the back switch and drive. Go ahead and you can switch now. You almost got him towed though.
Abusive parents, for example, parents who are selfish, parents who are absent, parents who are depressed, dead mothers, as Andre Green called them, parents who parentify the child, parents who instrumentalize the child, parents who spoil the child and isolate him from reality, parents who do not allow the child to form boundaries, don't allow the child to develop boundaries, don't allow the child to separate, don't allow the child to individuate. These are abusive parents. And this artificially induced impotence provokes, of course, aggression. Who wants to be an impotent? No one wants to feel helpless. It provokes rage and anger and aggression. But the child cannot direct this aggression at the parents because he depends on them. So this aggression, he sublimates it. He converts it into socially acceptable forms. He sublimates this forbidden impulse, his aggression, his anger at the parents. He sublimates it by becoming demanding, petulant, implacable. In short, a spoiled brat.
Sir, please don't stand behind us, okay?
Do you have a reason to record?
Yeah, they know what it is.
Do you have a reason to record?
I don't need one.
I'm sorry, but do you need a reason to record? There's no reason for you to record. These cops are doing their job. There's absolutely no reason for you to record.
She's on
They're
your
pulling
side.
me over.
Yeah, they're trying to take you to jail.
Huh?
You should probably be quiet.
Okay. I understand you have the right to
Say
film.
whatever I
don't have
want.
a problem.
Stay in here. Shut the
Go
fuck
ahead.
up, dude.
Go ahead.
Shut your mouth.
You are
Shut your mouth.
interfering
I'm
with
not
our
interfering. That's a
investigation
physical
right
act.
now.
Interstander, who has
Did I mess with your evidence? Did I get in your way?
You are interfering
Call
with
your
our
supervisor. Yeah, you do. I just asked for your supervisor, and you need to identify yourself for policy.
No, who are you?
Code of conduct number 73. What's your name and badge number? Hey, I want a supervisor here. I want a supervisor here. I don't give a fuck. I'm requesting a supervisor. Do you want a complaint for not identifying yourself? Hey, dumb shit. All three of you need to identify now. All three of you need to identify. Don't hey nothing. I'm on the sidewalk. You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. No, you shut the fuck up. I got laws in my pocket.
To him right here.
You want to see some laws? You want to see some laws? I got ARSs. Which laws do you want to see? There's all the ARSs right there, tough guy. Here's a constitution too.
He sublimates his aggression by becoming entitled. And so entitlement is a form of aggression directed at the environment and intended to elicit certain behaviors in the environment which would cater to internal psychological needs and would allow the budding narcissist, the nascent narcissist, to function in the world. It's a pattern of misbehavior. It carries well into the child's dysfunctional adulthood. And of course, entitlement is the opposite of routine. In routine, you have to act regularly and predictably. You have to do chores. You have to fulfill tasks and assignments. You're not entitled. Routine is the opposite of entitlement. And so narcissists hate routine. When the narcissist finds himself doing the same things over and over again, the narcissist gets depressed. The narcissist oversleeps, overeats, overdrinks, in general, engages in addictive, impulsive, and compulsive behaviors. These are his reactions to routine because routine negates his sense of entitlement. Routine demands of him to invest effort and work, to do things, to accomplish things. He can no longer be needy or dependent. And this is the narcissist's way of reintroducing risk and excitement into what otherwise emotionally he perceives as a barren life. By overeating, overdrinking, oversleeping, engaging in reckless and risky behaviors and so on, he re-energizes his life. Most narcissists are mediocre or even underachievers, forgettable. But they don't perceive themselves as such. And this grandiosity feeds the entitlement. You're beginning to see all the connections between the various strands of the narcissist's chaotic, low organization personality.
The thing is that we have to get rid of Jeff Lawless. Jeff Lawless has to go. Jeff Lawless doesn't belong as a sheriff. And so I want Jeff to know I'm back. And let me tell you something, Jeff. Let me wipe this off right here. Let me explain something to you, Jeff. There's a new sheriff in town. You're looking at him. I would never put on that uniform that you're wearing. Never. But I'm the sheriff, Jeff. It's not you. And we're going to find a replacement for you, Jeff Lawless. That's what we're going to do. Because you're not fit to serve. You're not fit to serve this community. You're not fit to be a sheriff at all whatsoever.
Of course, the feeling of supremacy often serves to mask a cancerous complex of inferiority. Today, most recent studies show that compensatory narcissism is actually the only form of narcissism. There's a core, which Adler called inferiority complex, and it's compensated for by narcissism and grandiosity. So, narcissists infect others with their projected grandiosity, and the feedback of these others, of these other people, this feedback constitutes the edifice upon which the narcissist constructs his self-esteem. It's a shared psychosis. Shared fantasy in the case of romantic relationships, but could be mass psychosis or shared psychosis in the case of cults or political parties, personality cults. The narcissist regulates his sense of self-worth by rigidly insisting that he is above the madding crowd, that he is superior and supreme, Übermensch, and at the same time, he derives his narcissistic supply from the very people that he despises, from the very sources that he holds in contempt.
As we can see, this is a complicated and nuanced subject studied by psychologists, psychiatrists, and counselors everywhere. I can hardly do it justice in 20 minutes or so. I'm sure we'll be returning to the joys of narcissism, entitlement, and what is, for many, a destructive way of thinking. Destructive of the community, destructive of the family, and most important, destructive of the self. Join me next week when we once again jump headfirst into the shallow end of the gene pool to see what pops up. Remember, ScrypKat says, when given a choice, choose to be kind. Bye for now.